The high-speed development of the internet is accelerating the change of our clothing, food, housing, and transportation. A modern online taxi booking has brought convenience to people. Today, the research object of our group is Didi. Uh, there is our team members. 春城郭、俊小洛、定涛奖、金鱼流、齐盆锅。And Didi 打车 was formally founded on July 10, 2012 by Chen Wei, Li Xiang, and others. And behind brings to the company concept of mobile internet makes travel better. They established Beijing Xiaoju technology in Zhongguancun. The early stage of its establishment, Didi's original intention was in the way of sharing economies. To improve the iteration rate of to provide passengers with better and more convenient taxi experience to provide the majority of private car driver with income channels, and to achieve profitability on the promise of meeting social needs. In the early stage of Didi's start-up, on the online car hailing market was just taking off. During the pioneers, fish and dragons were next, and wolf and tiger were competing for market sharing in the early stage. In the face of the large number of competitors, in order not to lag behind others, Xiaoju technology quickly and decisively launched its own online products to join the startup wave of online car hailing that just started. Here's how Didi has evolved. It can be said that the development history of the Didi taxi is bumpy and difficult. However, all difficulties are hardships. Will become the honor after victory. Until now, Didi 出行 has become one of the 10 top 50 global innovative enterprises, top 100 global brands, and top 100 Chinese bands. Looking into the future, Didi 出行's vision is to be a world-class technology company leading the transformation of the automated and transportation industries. Okay, there will be next guy go on speed.
Okay, in 2012, Didi, which was born in Beijing, faced competition from companies of the same type. In the early stage of the competition, Didi was also at a disadvantage in finance. The close border competition with Uber is even more difficult. Didi innately lags behind in terms of technology, capital, and even brand in the competition at the startup stage. The key resource for competition is drivers. Next one. For example, in the startup stage, they want to retain drivers and maintain their insertions for use. For example, they designed a 30-second sales process so that taxi drivers can learn actually how Didi is used and its benefits. In the middle of development, how to expand the scale to stimulate the use of large users becomes the most important thing. Price is the most critical factor. In early 2014, Didi and Tencent jointly launched the subside for taxi software and invented the subsidy marketing strategy. At a key point, Liu Qin's joining gave Didi an opportunity. He brought two capabilities to Didi. One is a strong financing capability, and the other is a measure of Didi and quick. The measured Didi will soon have a final battle with Uber. In the end, Didi merged with Uber China and eventually became the leader in China's online car hailing market. Next one. The 4-year business war has allowed Didi to accumulate a lot of operational experience. In the year when Didi competed with Uber, new versions were released every week, and the operation strategy was updated and iterated at any time. In contrast, Uber, which is headquartered in the United States, do not keep up with the rules at all. For example, in the formulation of rules, how to make the largest number of users feel satisfied in the complex conflict between drivers and passengers, how to achieve efficient management of drivers through the evaluation system and improve drivers' work is certain for example, how to dispatch orders that can increase the number of orders received by drivers and improve the overall operating efficiency of the platform, whether it is the global optimum or the distance optimum. Well, next will be continued by Ding Tao Jiang.
Okay, for internet-born Didi travel, the ultra-high market share can be said to be a dominant situation. It is not difficult to occupy such a high market share and make profits. For example, Tencent and Baidu have achieved dominance in the market. After that, the profits began to grow rapidly, but Didi did not. Didi Travel mainly occupies the market share of taxis, and the taxi market has always been one of the fantasy resorts of various tourists. The internet Didi Trap also expanded its market rapidly through attractive subsets with Didi's investment and the black supervision of Didi Hit Track itself. It had occupied a high market share and became the boss of online car hailing at that time. It can be said to be quite amazing. However, Didi has not been able to occupy all market shares, meaning local taxi companies. In addition, Didi Tax is also increased investment year by year, but behind Didi there are some noteworthy competitions growing rapidly, which is Hello Travel. In a sense, its approach can be said to be a demotion novelty, reducing below to Didi Travel. Of course, Hello Travel still has a longer way to go in the future, and it cannot pose a great threat to Didi Travel in the short term. But behind the Hello Red, there is a spurt of gas, and it is also worth of Didi's attention. At present, Didi Travel should pay attention to how to make profits in the short term and how to go in the future. Didi Travel has revealed the news of layoffs without to continue to develop in the field of travel in the future or to diversify and expand in other fields is a question worthy of reflection and its elaboration. And next, Jing Yu Liu continues.
Okay, I'm gonna introduce the factor and the threat that may affect Didi's business development in the future. I will use SWOT analysis to understand the factor and the threats that may affect the company in the future. So the first part is the advantage. The first advantage is that Didi's capital accumulation from July 2020 to July 2018, Didi received 19 rounds from financing from the more than 13 investment institutions and totaling nearby 25 billions. The second advantage is user base. In the current market pattern, Didi has been on the rise. The number of users of Didi apps in May was 19.2 billions, millions, far surpassing over similar apps and ranking first. The third business is layout. Didi's business is mainly in field of travel, and it has a deep layout from the perspective of drivers and users. It basically has a layout for the travel related needs. In addition, Didi its activity in expanding its business overseas, including food delivery, finance, and hotel. So next slide, please. Here is the Didi's weaknesses. The first point is that the production function is not perfect. Didi's user experience during peak hours is not perfect, and the expected waiting time is seriously inconsistent with actual waiting time, and there is a problem of high price and a product safety issue. In 2018, Didi was hit by two harmless cases involving its drivers, which caused a lot of public opinion, such as the unreasonable process of Didi's customers server in the hiding emergencies and the leakage of users' information. In addition, the cyberspace administration of China has seriously violated the law in collecting and using personal information of Didi in accordance with regulation. Notify the app store to remove the Didi apps. Next slide, please. The third point is Didi's opportunity in the future. In recent years, the development of multibility technology has radically changed the lives of residents, and the perfect guarantees the shared mobility is expected to grow to 76 billion by 2035, according to projection, accounting for 20% of total travel perfect. In the future, more residents will choose electric vehicles, self-driving car, online car, and other emerging driver method. The first is the stress. First, government is a government country. It's a big date event. Didi in 2018, the grave offense against the state. The second is the industrial competition. In the market, Didi has some competitors such as Meituan Tax, Cao Cao Special Car, TikTok, and Uber, and so on. And this will affect Didi's future development. So next slide, please. Using SWOT analysis, I concluded that Didi's advantage in team, capital, and technology can greatly help Didi to lay out more travel-related business in the future. In addition to online car hailing, autonomous driver and electric car are also good declaration for development. The most urgent issue is product safety, and in next 20 years, whether Didi can guarantee passenger safety and comply with national law and regulations. If not, Didi's future development will be a good obstacle. The development of the future and the change of the people's travel mode also proved Didi with many opportunities. Only a company as long as Didi can serve as the introduction landmark for all companies. So next will be continued by Qipeng Guo.
Next slide, please. Didi appears to rely on cars, but in fact, it depends on people. For example, in the public transportation system where the government is involved, Didi has no room to play, even without government intervention. Didi has no advantage over traditional transportation companies in subway. Next slide, please. Therefore, when driverless driving becomes mature and popular, the human cost of Didi will become a burden. And in order to eliminate the human cost, Didi business will also have to change. At that point, it is not clear whether any new competitors will emerge. Didi's biggest competitors has never been Uber, just as Uber's biggest competitor in China is not Didi, but self-driving cars. So Didi's future is not so clear. So how much room does Didi have left? There's still a lot to go before self-driving mature. Although Didi business now covers private cars, express cars, taxi, car return, but user coverage is not complete. Bike sharing stand out the business period of Didi Uber, which also proved that Didi's business has a great space on development. Next slide. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.